start with your closet. Not as a metaphor, your actual closet. Have you ever moved something along the rail and thought, when did I become this person? Because I have. You look at the colors, the cuts, the things you apparently chose with your own hands and paid for with your own money. And think, I wouldn't even pick this up in a store. I wouldn't take it into the changing room. So how is it in my house? Nobody broke in. You bought it. Or did you? I know, dramatic. But stay with me. The easy answer is that taste drifts. Life gets busy, you get tired, maybe your body changes, your job changes, your budget changes. You stop paying attention and clothes just accumulate. And that may be the whole answer. But I'm not sure it is. Because even when you're not paying attention, something is still choosing. Something reaches past one color and picks another. Something says yes at checkout. Even the people who say, I don't care about fashion, I just wear whatever, never seem to wear whatever. There are still things they won't wear, colors they avoid, shoes that feel ridiculous, a version of themselves they apparently refuse to become. So if taste is just taste, where does it come from? I've been thinking about this the more I learn about development, memory, and the nervous system. The less convinced I am that familiarity is neutral. Long before we can explain what we like, we are surrounded by patterns. Faces, voices, textures, smells, silhouettes. The way the adults around us dress when they're relaxed. The way they dress when they are important. The version of femininity and masculinity that gets admired. The version that gets mocked. What respectable looks like. What too much looks like. What someone wears when the house feels calm. And what they're wearing when it doesn't. Now, I want to be careful here. I'm not saying your nervous system literally goes shopping. Not that at all. In fact, mine has yet to remember a discount code. I am asking something more modest, though. Could familiarity influence taste more than we realize? Could some of what feels like preference actually be recognition? Could the body sometimes confuse I know this with I like this? Because that possibility bothers me a little. I was the child rejecting all of it. No, mom. Not that, mom. Not me, mom. I thought resistance meant escape. I didn't realize you could reject something consciously while still learning its shape. And I do wonder, would I have fought so hard if I had known the filing was happening anyway? Might have saved me some anguish and some truly terrible outfits. But this is where the question gets more interesting for me. Because sometimes people reach a certain age and notice themselves becoming visually familiar. A color their mother wore, a shape they once hated. In my case, purple and A-line skirts. A handbag they would have called old 10 years ago. Maybe that's just fashion cycles. Maybe it's aging. Maybe it's convenience. Maybe our mothers simply had excellent taste and we were insufferable. All possible. But what if sometimes there is something else going on? What if when we're tired or lonely or carrying the weight of the world, on what feels like a cellular level, we reach more readily for the familiar. Not because we secretly want to become our mothers, and not because every purple cardigan or sweater is an unresolved attachment wound, but because human beings are shaped by repetition, association, and relationships. And sometimes the familiar has a gravitational pull. Even when we spent years insisting we were going somewhere else. Just ask those of us who went back to our exes. Now, what would have to be true for this whole idea to be wrong? I ask myself. Maybe there is a more stable self underneath all of this, a real you with genuine preferences. Maybe you simply like purple. Maybe the trousers were on sale. Maybe your mother had absolutely nothing to do with it. Fair enough. But then I start looking for the person whose taste is entirely their own. And I can't find them. Because where would that person have come from? Really, think about it. Before culture, before family, before class, before friends, before the first person whose approval made you stand differently, before the first person whose rejection made you change. We are relational creatures. The self doesn't arrive fully formed and then meet other people. Some part of it is formed through meeting them, which means maybe the question isn't, is my style really mine? Maybe the question is, what does mine even mean for a creature built in relationship with other people? And suddenly the wardrobe looks different. Maybe it isn't evidence that you lost yourself. Maybe it's an archive of who you admired, who you resisted, where you belonged, where you performed belonging, who made you feel safe, who made you want to disappear, who you thought you had to become, and who you were too tired not to become. Which leaves me with a question I genuinely don't know the answer to. Once you can see all that, what do you do? Do you first find the people and places where your body feels safe and wait to see who you become there, then do the shopping? Or do you begin becoming that person now? Change the clothes, change the room, wear the thing, build the wardrobe or the closet. And trust that eventually your life will recognize you. I don't know, but perhaps next time you open your closet and think, when did I become this person? Don't rush to throw everything away. Look again. Maybe the more interesting question is, who was I becoming when I bought these clothes?